Hey everybody, Yogi here, doing well, hope you're doing well. Where is Yogi today? I am in Roscoe, Illinois, and we are at the Historic Auto Attractions building. We did an episode of all the Western stuff and all the Indian and things like that, the Old West, and today we're going to start this episode in the Buddy Holly, you know, the famous people area. So we're going to start with Elvis. And there's his autograph, Elvis Presley. And this right here is his personal 1972 Lincoln Mark IV. That photo right there was taken in this car. Here's the photo again up close. Sorry about the lighting. There's not much I can do about the lighting, but look at this. I'm merely inches away from Elvis Presley's 1972 Lincoln Mark IV. That's crazy. And over here is the last will and testament of Elvis Presley. It says authentic documentation of the last will and testament of Elvis Presley right there. And here's what it contains right here. All this stuff here. There's a picture of him with Richard Nixon receiving the Narcotic Bureau Badge, December 21st, 1970. There's a statue of the king right there. There's a shirt of his, circa 1950s, owned by Elvis. There's just a few samples of some of his music. And these are all jumpsuits. Elvis's jumpsuits. There's Graceland in the background right there. Very neat. Oh, they're tribute jumpsuits. Okay. So they're not actually Elvis's jumpsuits. Here's a Linda Thompson, though. She dated Elvis in the early 70s. In an evening gown of hers. And there's another dress of hers. Here's a wall of all the top 10 singles and all the movies. I remember one thing. He always had the name Rick. Rick in a lot of his movies. Opening night wardrobe at the Las Vegas International. Oh, they were supposed to be. They never went to that. He passed away before that concert. His last vacation. There's Priscilla Presley. Man, they got some crazy stuff here. Room charges, Las Vegas, 1956, New Frontier Hotel. Look at that. It says hair from the king. I guess it's in there? I don't know, I'm not seeing it. Oh, Elvis Presley studio mic. Vintage Shure Model 555 Unidyne mic used by Elvis to record various MGM movie tracks in the 1960s. Right there, folks. Gold records. Here's a guitar signed by Scotty Moore, Elvis's guitar player at one point. Elvis Presley's scarf. Vernon Presley's brass peacocks. That looks like a cigar. He loved cigars, and while visiting at my parents' home in 1977, he lit this one and smoked it. Okay. Rare Elvis 1956 leather belt. Colonel Tom Parker string tie. Autograph, Colonel Tom Parker. And there's the TCB, taking care of business. That was his motto. And this picture hung in his trophy room until his death. And over here, we have James Dean. The rebel without a cause. There's a life mask. This was an actual shirt worn by James Dean. There's the photo right there. Or multiple photos. A print of James Dean wearing the eye patch, wearing an eye patch, and this shirt. There's the what's left of his car. Unfortunately, he was born in 1931, died in 1955. It says September 21st, 1955 was the last day of work on Giant, the last movie he was in. He got a Porsche Spyder. Had a final check at the garage at 8 a.m. on September 30th. 5:45 p.m. that day, he was killed. And here, amazingly, is a piece of James Dean Porsche 550 Spyder that he was killed in. Right there. There is a curse supposedly tied to this car. If you want to look it up online, you can. I'm not going to read everything. That right there is the only known piece left of existence of the car. It was removed from the left front fender by road construction worker Harry Canby mere hours after the crash. Surf Ballroom Museum, Clear Lake, Iowa. We got Richard J.P. Richardson, the Big Bopper, the day the music died. Buddy Holly sunglasses. Worn during his wedding and honeymoon. All sorts of memorabilia. Letters signed by Buddy Holly up there. His motorcycle license plate receipt. And I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but I think these are actual items he wore. I don't see any verification of that, but I'm just assuming it is. More signed items of his. Jane Russell turquoise bustier used in the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Jane Russell. There's Marilyn Monroe's Faux Diamond cigarette case with matching leather. Again, I'm having trouble with words today, folks, so bear with me. And Marilyn Monroe's pearl-colored cat's eye design sunglasses. Marilyn Monroe's single seat. There's Marilyn Monroe love seat. Happy birthday, Mr. President. This is insane. This is a piece of cake from President Kennedy's 45th birthday celebration on May 19, 1962. The event took place in Madison Square Garden 10 days before his actual birthday. It was made famous when Marilyn Monroe sang the traditional Happy Birthday to You lyrics in a sultry voice with Mr. President inserted as Kennedy's name. That's just crazy right there. Looking at a piece of cake. Here's a letter from 20th Century Fox saying that Marilyn Monroe has been fired from the motion picture Something's Gotta Give. 8 weeks later, she was dead. Over here we've got The Day the Music Died. Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens. Just outside of Clear Lake, Iowa. Now we're going to enter into the World Leaders exhibit. Again, this place is huge. This is Evita Perón's presidential limousine, 1950 Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith. Wow. Bulletproof tires, simply amazing. Bulletproof glass. There's a rare signed photograph portrait of the First Lady of Argentina. Man, just think she sat in that. That's just crazy to think. Crazy. Over here we have the 1948 Daimler DE36 limousine that was taken for the royal tour to South Africa. This here is King George the 6th, 1946 Daimler DE36 limousine. Mikhail Gorbachev, first president of the Soviet Union. This is his 1991 Mercedes SEL 540 armored limo. It's got bulletproof body panels. And it's fitted with 2-inch bulletproof windows. Look at that. Look at that glass. It's crazy. This is the 1946 Packard 7-passenger limo Super Clipper for Mariano Espina Perez, 17th President of Colombia between 1946 and 1950. Look inside there. And right here we have Joseph Stalin's 1937 Packard armored limousine. Bulletproof 3-inch thick glass windows. Holy moly. Look at that, 3-inch glass. Wow. Let's see if we can look inside a little bit. That's crazy. Absolutely insane. There's a photo of him arriving in this car. It's a 1928 Dodge limousine for the King of Siam. Custom built. Okay, over here we've got a touchy subject, but I'm going to show it anyway. Some artifacts and things of Adolf Hitler. And again, it's artifacts. I am reflecting no views or opinions here, folks, by showing this to you. I am simply showing this for historical purposes only. There's her pink lace lingerie, Eva Braun. Eva Braun's navy blue gown with flower. Cutlery of his. Her Eva Braun's pistol. Dessert forks. Tablecloths. Some more stuff. I know it's a touchy subject, folks, for some people, but again, I am not condoning any of this stuff that's here. I am just merely documenting it and showing it to you. So let's continue. This is 1939 Mercedes G4 6-wheeled staff car that I have no idea if this actually had him in it or not. And there's a couple other cars back here. 1941 Fiat 1500 Italian command car. Oh, here's Heinrich Himmler. 1939 Porsche 930V. Some bikes of the Blitzkrieg and Benito Mussolini. This is a 1939 Lancia Astura? Lancia Astura? That's what I'm getting out of it. Sorry if I'm butchering the words or the model. Emperor Hirohito, 1935 Packard model 1202 8-cylinder limousine. Look at that. Just so close to it. Look at that. I'm not touching it, but you can if you're not supposed to, but you're that close to it, folks. The actual vehicle that Emperor Hirohito rode in. Nikita Khrushchev, 1950 ZIM 7-passenger Pullman limousine. Look at that. This here is the 1962 Checker Marathon Dallas taxi cab known as the Getaway Car. This is the car that Lee Harvey Oswald got into after assassinating President Kennedy on the 6th floor of the Book Depository building. He hailed this taxi cab and had the driver, William Wayne Whaley, driving back to his rooming house. Whaley tried to make conversation with Oswald. What the hell you think happened out there, he recalled, asking Oswald as an opener. Oswald did not answer him back. He was asked to be dropped off 2 blocks past his rooming house. The cab fare was 95 cents. Oswald gave him $1 and said, "Keep the change." There's the route he took after, or route he took after killing the president. And there's the theater where he was arrested. There's a photo of William Whaley, the taxi cab driver. Simply amazing. This place is simply amazing. I'm not sure if those are the actual pearls, but there is no verification. Oleg Cassini, fashion designer of Jackie's Clothing. This is a personal evening gown owned and worn by Jacqueline Kennedy. There's an actual letter signed by Rose Kennedy. Bumper stickers. John F. Kennedy's Lord Elgin watch. Kennedy gave this watch as a gift to Jackie's personal secretary, Mary Gallagher. Some John F. Kennedy golf ball tees. Suit patterns sent at the request of him. Kennedy for President hat. A piece of wood from his inaugural platform. Inaugural ball invites. His tuxedo jacket, which is right there, and shoes that he wore to the inauguration ball. What size feet are those? My goodness, that guy had some small feet. That's a fedora he wore. This is a bunting used over the inaugural platform at the inauguration of John F. Kennedy. So much stuff here. Seriously, you can spend 3-4 hours in this place. We probably will. Upholstery from Kennedy's X100 limo stained with his blood, folks. That is his blood right there. Dallas Bulletin, President Kennedy shot, and Governor Connolly was shot that day as well. There's a picture of his casket. Contents of the briefcase Kennedy carried with him to Dallas on that day. Original press kit and script for Oliver Stone's JFK. A section of wood from platform where President John F. Kennedy gave his last official speech. This over here is John F. Kennedy's 1962 Lincoln. He used it to visit troops in Fort Stewart, Georgia, November 1962. Look at that.
Before its return in 1977, 61 Lincoln served 5 presidents and traveled just over.
Just think, folks, John F. Kennedy sat in this limousine.
In the Henry Ford Museum, it is moving to note that on the anniversary of
this right here is a red rose from the bouquet given to Jackie Kennedy at Dallas Love Field on November 22nd, 1963, from the mayor of Dallas, right there.
June 14, 1961.
Unbelievable. That's from that bouquet right there. And right there. Here we have a 1956 Cadillac Secret Service limousine known as Queen Mary II. This is the actual limo that was directly behind President Kennedy's presidential limo at 12:30 p.m. on November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas, when he was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald from the Book Depository building. This is the actual, oh wow, look at the inside there. They got the guns and stuff. There's a phone. Wow. Running boards where guys would stand on. Look at that. Amazing. That limousine was behind JFK. And this is the 1961 Lincoln Kennedy assassination limousine. It's codenamed X100, built from the original blueprints from Hess and Eisenhart, which were used in Dallas for all the research on the assassination. This tribute limo, this is not the actual limo, tribute limo, was featured in 11 documentaries about Kennedy. This is the only limo in the world built to the exact specs. The original is in the Henry Ford Museum in Deerfield, Michigan, but now has a hard top painted black and does not resemble the original limo that Kennedy was assassinated in.
We do not and cannot confirm the report at this time that the president has been shot. On witnesses said that he definitely was shot, that he was hit twice, that he called it.
Wow. This here is the ambulance that transported Lee Harvey Oswald to Parkland Hospital on November 24th.
Through the midday demonstration, and just 2 days earlier, when it was called to Parkland Hospital to remove.
In this ambulance, the accused assassin was carried to the Parkland Hospital where he died. In this ambulance, he struggled to live.
And with the help of several officers, loaded Oswald inside. At 11:33 a.m., the ambulance left the
Wow.
A few blocks from Parkland Hospital.
That's crazy.
Oswald was being given oxygen by the jail doctor.
A reenactment of the shooting.
That only lasted
Right there. Then there's a photo of the actual shooting. Jack Ruby's polygraph test.
They didn't use the same emergency room as President Kennedy. One of the doctors remembered that, but he didn't have to.
The Oswald window was removed as evidence and now kept by the FBI. The window on display was located next to that window. So this window right here was next to the window where Oswald shot John F. Kennedy. The arrest of Oswald at the Texas Theater. There's a chair from the Texas Theater. There's a brick from the School Book Depository. Jack Ruby's suit jacket. Officer Nick McDonald's actual police uniform. These are the actual shoes that Jack Ruby wore when he shot Lee Harvey Oswald. Jack Ruby's hat. Gun belonging to Dallas policemen. That gun was commonly carried in Jack Ruby's boot as a hidden backup firearm. The original license plate from the ambulance on display that transported Oswald from the police station to Parkland Hospital. Unreal. Lee Harvey Oswald's gray sweater. This is the actual catalog Lee Harvey Oswald used to order the gun that he used to shoot President Kennedy. Wow. Lee Harvey Oswald wedding suit. Truman era furniture from the White House. This is all stuff from the White House, folks. All of it. Sideboard, Truman era. Camp David chairs. Truman's music room chair. Patio rocking chair. Eisenhower administration. Eisenhower's U.S. staff chair. Carter era Aspen room chairs. Theodore Roosevelt wood dresser with mirror. All this stuff was in the White House. More Roosevelt. Wood dresser, Eisenhower Kennedy. Rocking chair. Roosevelt era. James K. Polk era mechanical sewing machine. Red couch. Eisenhower era. Blue room. Chester A. Arthur. Kennedy. Roosevelt. Eisenhower Kennedy. Truman era. Turtle top marble table. Couch with chair. Lyndon Johnson. Little hat. President Johnson's hat. President Johnson's hat. President Johnson's presidential suit. Right there. President Johnson's glasses, campaign hat, keychain, First Lady Lady Bird Johnson's dresses, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter, card table, Truman era. This is all with Truman and Roosevelt era items. Patricia Nixon. Richard Nixon suit worn during presidency right there. There's just so much, folks. There's a Hillary Rodham Clinton, George Washington life mask, Rutherford B. Hayes life mask, autographs of the first ladies. My gosh, it just goes on and on and on. This flag flew over the Capitol building on June 9th, 2004 in honor of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan suit jacket. Dick Cheney, Ronald Reagan stuff, John F. Kennedy's pens, U.S. flag signed by George Bush, John Kennedy Jr.'s children's Navy suit, Caroline Kennedy, Jackie Kennedy, Oleg Cassini, John Kennedy Jr. riding suit, Jacqueline Kennedy two-piece maternity outfit, more Jacqueline Kennedy stuff, another outfit of hers, and it goes on and on and on. Jacqueline Kennedy, 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 Robert F. Kennedy, hair of John F. Kennedy is in there somewhere. My goodness, it just goes on and on. There's just so much to show you. There's Air Force One. Grassy Knoll Fence. That was in Dallas. Governor Swanson, John F. Kennedy, more Kennedy stuff. Citing new game of the Kennedys. Stuff carrying his casket. This flag flew over the nation's capital during his funeral. This printing plate was used to print the front page of Dallas morning newspaper on November 23rd, 1963. And that's what it looks like. Film of JFK in Texas on the morning of his death was shot with that camera. Here's a picture of the car with the blood stains on it. Warren Commission report. Blood-stained envelope from Evelyn Lincoln's purse. This is the actual flag that was draped over Kennedy's casket. Right there. That's a White House crystal chandelier. The flag that flew over the Capitol, November 21st, 1963, the day Kennedy left for Dallas. This is the funeral veil and hat worn by Jackie Onassis at the funeral mass. There she is wearing it. Well, that's going to do it for this particular episode. There's more to see, folks. More to see. We still have space stuff. We have other cars. There's so much here. There's so much here. So that's going to do it for this particular episode from the Historic Auto Attractions in Roscoe, Illinois. Please like, share, subscribe, hype. If you enjoy this content, consider supporting the channel. I will be very grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Consider subscribing. From Roscoe, Illinois, Historic Auto Attractions, I am Yogi. Take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and be good to yourselves. Yeah, I'm out of here.